TYR review. Welcome to another TYR review. Today we are in beautiful Crovan's Gate, Sordor, and here with us today is the Narrow Gauge engines. Now, I have made this set of Crovan's Gate right here just to review a Narrow Gauge engines. TYR reviews for the first time will not be held in Tidmouth. So, further on our review, today we are reviewing Skarloey. So, I have two versions of Skarloey here today. Skarloey is one of my only new in-box items. Not for long. Let's focus the camera here. And, yeah, let's get started. I have two versions of Skarloey here today. The first one is a 2002, 2002 Skarloey, with, which is the original model of Skarloey. Not many differences in between this and the original release of Skarloey. It is in fairly rough shape, and I do have to say this was probably one of my first engines, if not the first engine I ever received as a child. So this is it's seen better days, let's just say that. And then here is a new in-box Skarloey, which I did purchase to kind of relieve this old Skarloey. I was rather shocked when I saw this and the changes they had made to it. Now let's get to the character part of this review before going any further on the model. So Skarloey is one of the locomotives that is one of the three oldest engines on the island of Sodor, right behind Duke and tied with Rheneas. Well, technically Skarloey is finished first and on the island of Sodor before Rheneas. So Skarloey is the second oldest engine on the island. And yeah, not much about it. Working on the Skarloey Railway all his life. Yep. And so that's all the character side of Skarloey. Now let's get to the model. So firstly, this original Skarloey here, it had mild details. There's several things which I'll discuss later which they could have improved on. Things like I'm just going to start comparing the two. I'm just not going to go any further on one than the other. So let's get this open. So this is a, believe 2011 Skarloey. I did purchase it in 2012, but it's a learning curve, so it's likely it's 2011. It's a store where the stuff moves fast. So yeah, let's get it open. It's this annoying style of packaging which is impossible to reseal. So I'm going to do my best opening it from this side. It usually makes it a little easier to reseal. Just so I don't rip all this side off. Open from the bottom. And we can pop this side out. It falls down, and the packaging is barely scathed. It's just how I open these new in-box things. A little plastic insert that came with it. Had a number. Not sure what that number is. Someone wants to post why that number is there. Go ahead. Anyway, so here is Skarloey. Let's just start comparing these two items. So it's really shocked me is things that they did in this model. They did improve it greatly without losing any of its classic nostalgia. So let's just start discussing why. So the original item had things like, if you saw my duck review, I critiqued it not having windows here and several other small features. But this model actually nailed that. For one of the only times they added coal to the coal bunkers, as you see there, which is a big detail. They added windows. They realistic up the dome. Instead of having it in the middle, just as a standard thing, they made it more realistic to the model and put it where their actual Skarloey engine had his dome. And then they added these wheel hubs, which is a little detailed, not too crucial, adds to the model, and did things such as shorten up this line here, which just made it look a little better, like added a little chrome to the yellow here, so it's gold, not just yellow, which is an okay feature. It didn't really make much difference to me. and added a slight white lining here. Well, could have been this one too. It's just so roughed up along that area you can't see it. But I don't think it had a white lining. But yeah, so they made a lot of good changes to it without losing this nostalgic look. And even examining the face, this is probably the only GCI face I have ever seen that they have managed to keep the look of the model. They haven't changed it. Like, look at the face, and it is that gray CGI look face, and it is CGI, but they kept the look of the face almost identical. Like, here the nose is just worn out and the eyebrows are gone, but other than that, it's identical. They brightened up the teeth, but not much other. So I think this is the best GCI face I've ever seen, or CGI, always mix them up. Anyways, oh yeah, and they added these white details where the pistons was, but that's to be debated how it adds to the model. But anyways, so in my duck review, which you guys might have seen earlier, I really struggled trying to rank the models, because there's two kind of components which really key count in a model. One, the realistic look of the model, how it bears to its real life or TV series counterpart, or in some cases railway series counterpart. And two, how nostalgia it looks, the nostalgic of it, and if you have to meet somewhere in the middle. So here, this item, this one, just is the more nostalgia, but with losing some of the more details. But I do believe that both models could have added stuff that would add nostalgia without removing any that would add detail without removing any nostalgia. Such as, if you remember, Skarloey has the bronze rim on the funnel, or maybe golden brass, that's it, brass rim on the funnel, which really stands out in the railway series and TV series, but it's not in its model. So that would have been really nice to see. Several other features. This one really nails it. Back cab windows are still missing here and here, the back cab windows. But other than that, this model nails it. So let's get to review. For nostalgic level, I would probably give this a 7.5 out of 10. It's nostalgic, but not too nostalgic. And this, I would probably give it a 6 out of 10. Even though the new touch-ups did improve the model, it did lose nostalgia. You do have to admit. But then on a realistic level, I would give this probably a 6 out of 10, or 6 out of 10, and this would probably be an 8.5 out of 10, maybe even a 9. The only features I could really see for a wooden railway thing, obviously adding the coupling rods, but that's not possible in wooden railway, as we all know. But other than that, just adding the windows back here and the golden funnel. So those are the only two critiques I have on this model. So yeah, overall, if I were to have only one of these models, even if they were in mint conditions, I would probably choose this one. I just like it all around better. If you have this model, it's not worth it just buying this unless it's speeded up like mine was. You can't even see Skarloey name on it. Didn't have the name printed on the back, so not much difference. Yeah, I really suggest, if you don't have a Skarloey model, whatever you do not go out and buy the older one on eBay. Just find a store, get it in the new style. I'm sure with everything like Blue Mountain Mystery out, they still have Skarloey in stores today. Just get the new Skarloey if you don't have a Skarloey. I suggest Skarloey model myself because it is. If you were to have any of the narrow gauge engines, Skarloey would probably be one of the top 3 picks for me. Well, that's the engine that the railway is named after, as well as the town, Skarloey Railway. So yeah, Skarloey is a good model, and I do favor the new look from the old one. So yeah, that's it for me.